Hush, hush. What? Bubble. Hush, hush.
Welcome everybody to That's My Opinion. This is the official review for This Is the End. While attending a party at James Franco's house, Seth Rogen and Jay Baruchel and many other celebrities are faced with the apocalypse. Boy, was that basic. This movie was so much more than that plot.
It really was.
From the directors of Pineapple Express and the gang from those movies and Your Highness, This Is the End was written by Seth Rogen. It was starring Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, James Franco, Jonah Hill, Danny McBride, and Craig Robinson. There are also other cast members. Michael Cera. I don't know how Michael Cera made it in the poster because his part was the briefest, but I guess the most obscure. So Emma Watson was great. Also appearances: Dee Callig, David Kumholtz, Christoph Mintz-Plasse, Rihanna, Paul Rudd, and an Academy Award-winning performance by Channing Tatum.
Wait, you actually put Paul Rudd in there?
Yeah, but
you didn't even see him. You don't even remember
him being in it.
We watched that movie and you didn't even see him.
Here's the funny thing. I'm the only one that's, I'm not playing myself. I'm playing Don Cheadle.
You were like, wait, where was Paul Rudd at?
I still don't think he was the guy that ran up with the ball.
He was the guy who runs up with the ball.
We need to see it again.
Oh, sorry.
All these people fall in the hole. There's a huge sinkhole of the apocalypse, rapture. It is the apocalypse, and all this stuff happens way in the beginning. After that, you're stuck with these five guys, and these five guys are trying to survive
the apocalypse
with very little food, very little water, and
12 bottles of water. I think 56 bottles of beer,
and a Milky Way.
A Milky Way, a bottle of Nutella,
CT Crunch. They don't have much, and a porn mag. Don't forget the porn mag.
And a porn mag.
So yeah, they're doing everything they can.
The porn mag
to survive.
Apparently, they had eggs and bacon too.
Overall synopsis of this movie: I laughed and enjoyed the movie a lot. But I wouldn't recommend it to one soul on this planet. I really wouldn't.
I'm complete opposite. I would recommend this to a bunch of my friends.
Really?
Fuck
you have friends that would love this?
Oh, hell yes.
I don't think I have friends that would love this movie.
There's been a couple of friends who have actually said, hey, I want to go watch this film. And I'm like, really? I don't think it's for you. But no, I have a bunch of
friends.
You've known me for years. You know how crazy my friends are.
You would be the person that I would recommend it to. I don't have many friends who enjoys that kind of humor.
Yeah.
You are one of them.
Well, we come from a whole different breed of people.
It's true.
We're sick.
It's a sick movie.
It's a sick,
I mean,
fun movie.
It was. I laughed.
If you are very set in your religious beliefs and ways, don't go watch this film because it really
film by any means. The good. There was a lot of good to this movie, I have to admit. But Jonah Hill takes the cake on the good of this film. I don't like Jonah Hill. I actually walked out of Superbad. I hated it so much, and it was specifically Jonah Hill.
Really?
Oh my god, it was so awful. He redeemed himself with me with Moneyball, which is actually mentioned in this movie. Moneyball, he was great, and so therefore I have this much more respect for him, and because of that, he had me to the point of tears.
That's not good. That's not good.
Jay, you fool.
I say unto thee, the power of Christ compels you.
Oh, does it? Does it compel me?
The power of Christ compels you.
Does it, Jay?
The power of Christ compels you.
Is the power of Christ compelling me? Is that what's happening?
The power of Christ compels you.
Guess what? It's not that compelling.
I mean, I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. I was actually tears streaming down my face.
Yeah, no, most people will look at that scene and be like, well, that's nothing really that funny. I saw that in the trailer.
But
it's so much. They show so much more than what they did, but it's all the events leading up to that scene that you're already laughing.
Yes.
By the time you get to that scene.
All these people are actually themselves. They are Jonah Hill. They are Jay Baruchel. They are Seth Rogen. But Jonah Hill is very much playing a character, and then this happens to him, and it brings his true self out, and oh my god, it was so great. By all means, take it. What was your good?
My good. Let's see. First off, I went into this film like hearing a review on it, a radio station who I would think Wow, I didn't think they would dumb themselves down to go watch this film. Okay, so I went in with a very high expectation of Danny McBride being the funniest person in the movie.
He had his moments.
He had his moments. I will say he was the second funniest.
Was Jonah Hill the funniest?
Jonah Hill.
was the funniest. Although, I've heard a lot of people say Michael Cera was the funniest, and it's because he was odd. And I think the oddness didn't make him funny.
He's in.
Well, he's not cute anymore. He's not the cute little geeky guy anymore. Now he's getting older. He looks more like a frog with every movie. A lot of people were like, oh my gosh, he was so funny. And I just thought he was disgusting.
I would say my good is not even them. My good is the fact that this is always something I want to do with my friends, is just, this was a movie done by friends.
Yeah,
who just got together, probably smoked a whole bunch of
weed.
And was like, let's come up with the dumbest, silliest thing we could ever come up with. And let's throw the weird token black guy in this film.
Craig Robinson.
I don't get why people find him funny.
He's not.
He's not really a funny person.
His whole bit was take your panties off. And
I thought, well, why don't you get a more funnier up-and-coming guy? Kevin Hart. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Hart shows up in the film. And I'm like, oh, why didn't you get him to play that role and have Craig Robinson play his role? That's my good for this film. Is just the fact of, this was a group of friends who got together and just made something up off the top of their head.
I'm not ruining anything to tell you. At one point, they decide to make Pineapple Express 2's trailer, and that was probably one of the most entertaining scenes.
I'm also kind of wondering if they really are going to make a part 2 to Pineapple Express.
Who knows?
It actually
they have the money in the time.
They actually would be funny. It could. It would have to be a good story though.
Well, not the one that they had in the movie.
Hey, the one in the first one was fine.
He starts eating himself. Why? Why not? He's gone completely insane.
They probably wasted a lot of outtakes laughing at one another.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
because
I'm sure that when you get the DVD, the whole gag reel is going to be great.
Because
better than the movie.
You're looking at it the whole time like, I know they're having. It's good to go watch a movie, and especially a comedy, when people are having fun filming what they're doing. And, no one there hates each other. No one there's like, oh my God, this person's a prima donna, or this person needs this. It's like, you know what, screw it.
You can tell even Emma Watson had fun in her day of filming. I know she loved it.
Oh God, yes.
There are 6 of us. You cannot rob us.
I'm not fucking around!
Look at the drinks.
Hermione just stole all of our shit.
Alright, so to get to the bad. Some, or maybe all of the immature humor was my bad. Specifically, I mean, there was a 5-minute scene of, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna come all over your house, and I was like, okay, it's funny to a point. There's a lot of childish, stoner,
sophomoric,
so sophomoric
actually
humor,
fresh Moorish
humor. That to a point where it's like, that's okay. Come on, guys. Okay, really, we went there. The movie as a whole made me laugh a lot, but some of the humor was just awful. I think Danny McBride and his kind of humor is kind of the stuff I don't like. It's the humor that he had in Your Highness that made it bad. I mean, it's fresh Moorish. Is that what you said? It's very fresh Moorish, and it's than there needed to be in this film. I think if it had less of it, it would be more of a movie I would recommend to friends. So
yeah.
So what was your bad?
I actually had no problem with the coming scene. Them just going back and forth. I will admit. I will admit that it did go a little bit longer than it needed to go. It's like it hit a certain point and you're like,
guys,
okay, now
guys.
It's like, can someone else at this house just be like, dude, shut up?
Yeah, I was waiting for that. That didn't happen.
My bad literally came at the end of the film.
We're not going to give anything away.
I'm not going to give anything on this.
We're not going to give you a spoiler alert, but
no spoiler alert, but.
And I agree with you.
There's a band that shows up at the end. That does a little sing and dance routine, and
everybody played along, and it was supposed to be funny.
It was supposed to be funny, but I'd never liked them to begin with. I could never stand them. Still can't stand them. Can't believe they were in this film.
Can't believe they thought it would make it funny. I don't think it was funny.
It was really.
I mean, if somebody like Meatloaf or
I would have laughed if it was Ozzy Osbourne.
Devo. I mean, yeah, Devo, Ozzy. If somebody like that would have shown up at the end to do a song and dance routine, that would have been funny. But they picked these guys, and
yeah, I'm like, no, I'm good.
I was just like, oh, okay, done now with the movie. I'd agree. That was very
Which at the same time, it was kind of interesting
bad,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Well, it was bad, but it was interesting the fact that I was kind of waiting because once they kept singing their routine, I was kind of looking around the theater like, is there anybody here even old enough besides us that actually even knows who this group is?
Right.
The movie probably did go a little bit longer than it should have been.
Longer than it should have, yeah.
I think there was a couple of points where they were just kind of stretching some scenes out that you were kind of like, okay, someone really needed to go in and just edit this maybe like a minute to 2 minutes, a little bit shorter. But other than that, I mean, it was a good flowing movie. It has you laughing.
It certainly made you laugh.
It will make you laugh. You definitely got to be a fan of the humor. If you're not, then the whole movie is bad to you. But like I said, all my friends out there, if you're watching this, you've probably seen it already and you loved it. So,
all right, we still have to do the ugly.
The ugly, yeah.
The ugly. I'm gonna pick the ugly as the penises. Now there was a lot of gore in this movie. There was a lot of blood. There was a lot of guts. There's a scene where the squishing of a head happens, and that was I could handle. That was it was disgusting. It was gross. That was all handleable, but the peni in this movie it was so unnecessary. There was 20-foot peni at one point.
There was.
There was lots.
Then I think there was 200 foot long at some point too.
There was a lot of penis.
Now there's one thing I was surprised on.
What's that?
For as much male enhancement that was in this film, there wasn't one naked woman. When is there never not a naked woman in an apocalypse film running around?
But I don't even think we
saw
saw
porn mag, but you didn't see anything in that.
And just the pages stuck together.
But I'm kind of like that was a little disappointing for me. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are all sitting around at a table writing this movie out, probably getting high off of who knows what, and you didn't think to.
There weren't many women in this film except in the very beginning.
At the party and stuff like that.
Would that be your ugly, that there weren't boobs?
Yeah. There wasn't really much ugly in the film. Not even that. I was expecting that to come at some point. Maybe the ugliest part in the scene, because it's just a completely gory scene, is what Danny McBride ends up doing to James Franco.
Oh, God.
That literally could be...
It could be a little ugly, yes.
It could be a little ugly.
There are signs of the apocalypse that take a dirty turn.
Yeah.
And Danny McBride took that dirty turn. Yeah.
It's a well done stoner film.
It's a stoner film.
It's not as offensive as I would say Dogma was to people of religious belief and faith. I mean, this really is.
I don't know. Some of the scenes.
There can be some things, but I mean, I think Dogma definitely upset people a lot more.
As a Christian, some of the rapture scenes were quite offensive, and you know, I'm a pretty liberal Christian, and I was kind of like, oh, guys, that's not okay. I put my religion aside when I go and see a stupid movie like that, but that was at some point I was like, oh, you can't do that.
But Dogma got slammed for what it was. I mean,
Dogma
the Catholic
had
Church,
protesters.
Yeah, the Catholic Church was like, no. No.
There was a lot of Catholic guilt from Kevin that made Dogma, and he kind of went, you know what, I'm going to F you, religion, where this was just like, why don't we just like take some hints from Revelations and make a stoner movie out of it. So overall, I would say that if you enjoyed Pineapple Express,
Superbad.
If you enjoyed Superbad,
I did. I will go watch this film again.
I will see it again just for the Jonah scene.
The power of Christ compels you.
Guess what? It's not that compelling.
I will accept the 20-foot beep for that Jonah scene again. I would recommend it to people who would enjoy that humor. I would recommend it to Marcus's friends, but I couldn't recommend it to Mom. Well, signing off. So he is no longer a special guest star.
I'm also starring. So, see you next time.
See you next time. Probably World War Z.
World War Z? Probably?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll probably be back for World War Z.
Okay.